Hello and welcome to the 5 Easy Ways to Get Publicity for Your Business. My name is Barbara Jemmett. I'm the founder of Y.E.S. I'm a business strategist for women entrepreneurs, helping you to meet your customers wherever they are in their buying journey. You can find me at Spirit of Y.E.S. So just a little housekeeping for our 30-minute masterclass. I'm so happy you could join us today. And as usual, here's the promise. It will be 30 minutes only, no more. And I think you'll find that there's a lot of information packed into today. So you will need a pen and paper. So please be ready with that. There'll be 3 main sections. There is this intro portion. Then we'll be looking at the topic of the day and finishing with a conclusion and action steps. So with that, let's get started. I always like to start with an opening quote, if you will. And here's the one. It's a definition of the word publicity. And it is that publicity is all about getting the message out about your business. Oops. What I'd like to say is that this is all about these 5 topics today. First one is clarifying what makes you so special. And the fact that you're going to need to build a list, and it's not necessarily the one that you think. What events should you share? Getting yourself interviewed, and you're going to need a kit. So these 5 topics are what's going to be part of what we do today. So here we are. 5 ways to get publicity for your business. We start with item number 1, which is what makes you special. Oh, let's see. Hiring a PR firm to do this task for you is incredibly expensive, or should I say not cheap, which is why it's advantageous for small businesses and solos to do their own publicity. The resources available today on the internet allow any business to do its own publicity effectively and at a low cost. Do-it-yourself publicity and getting the media to write about you can be very effective. Aside from the cost, there are other good reasons to go the do-it-yourself route for publicity. You know your business better than anyone else, and you can identify the unique value that you offer rather than hiring an outsider to do it for you. If you do your own publicity, you can maintain complete control over the message that you send out. You can choose which publications write about you or interview you and what they say. Publicity is a way for others to sing your praises for you. Get the media to write about you because it's so much more effective than content you can create about yourself. All you need to do is master a few basic techniques because people trust the word of others. So having positive media about your business can have a huge impact. Doing your own publicity is a matter of mastering some of these basic techniques, and that's what we're going to talk about. So again, this brings us to what makes you special. The core of any publicity effort is a hook that attracts people and tells them how you uniquely meet their needs. To get publicity, you need to entice journalists and influencers to write about you with a newsworthy hook. The first step is to answer this question. Why should people write about you? Where to start? Consider what makes your offering different from others in your field. Once you understand what makes you unique, you can craft a message to communicate that. You have competitors who offer similar services or products, but you're asking people to choose you instead. A good place to start is to consider what makes your offering different from the others in your field and put yourself, in your customer's shoes as you think about that. What do they like about you? Why do they choose you instead of someone else? If you're already in business, look over past communications and see what happy customers have to say about you. Their words can help you clarify what makes you unique. For example, along with your products, you might offer full technical support for free. If that's the case, other companies in your industry don't do this quite the same way that you do. If this is why your customers buy from you, you know this is something you need to emphasize. Think about unique value in terms of benefits rather than features. The benefits in the above example are peace of mind. If the customer has a problem, they know it will be solved for free. Clarify your unique benefits in terms of how you can make your customers' lives better, the actual improvements that they can feel and see. This is why someone would want to write about you. Once you identify these benefits, make them the core message behind your publicity. So here are next steps or your assignment for this particular topic. Focus on what unique benefits does your product or service offer that makes it stand out from your competitors? What do your satisfied customers say about you? Sum up this unique value in one thorough but concise sentence. Spend the time to consider that and write it out. So this brings us to list item number 2. Yes, you're going to build a list of journalists and influencers. It's important to think about who's going to write about you. If you want good publicity, you need to build a list of journalists and influencers who you can contact for press coverage. The way it works is that you give them your news, your announcement or message, and if you make it enticing enough, they'll write about it for their audience. The journalist audience is an important consideration. Their readers or listeners need to be people who will potentially become your followers or customers. For this reason, the writer needs to be someone in your industry whom others can and do listen to. In addition to journalists, you should be looking for influencers in your field. An influencer is anyone with a large and receptive audience. They tend to be thought leaders in their area and have a dedicated following. This could be someone like a blogger who writes about a product or service they've used and like. When they write about it, their audiences check it out. Your list of journalists and influencers should include not only writers for print publications, both online and off, but also podcasters and bloggers, YouTubers, and anyone else in any media that has the right audience for your product or service. There are many ways to find individuals to reach out for press. A couple of them include Help a Reporter Out, or HARO. This is a website for people who need publicity and journalists who need something to write about. It has the biggest database of reporters of any site of its kind. SourceBottle. SourceBottle is a similar service that's easier to use because you don't need to register first. You can just fill out the forms to put out a call for journalists, and both sites are free to use. If you can find journalists by looking at other popular websites and publications, you can find influential people as well in your list, in your niche on social media. Keyword search on social media sites like Twitter and LinkedIn, because this is also an effective way to find people to write about you. So the next steps for this is to start a list. Start a list of journalists and influencers in your niche who have a large and engaged audience. Follow journalists you like on social media and other platforms so you know how to pitch ideas to them. What are they talking about? This brings us to item number 3, newsworthy events. Events that you can use to publicize your business. Find newsworthy events that are interesting to the journalist audience. You can publicize your business with stories about your products or services themselves, but it's much more effective if you have an actual newsworthy event or development that's of interest to the journalist audience. The piece of news can be about you or your business, or it can be a news story, an event, or something timely like a holiday, or something else in your industry that you can report on. If there's a recent change in your business that you need to let people know about, such as a launch of a new product, opening a new facility, or a significant anniversary, let them know. Excuse me. If you want to use something outside of your business, excuse me, look at industry or market news. Look at the calendar to see if there's any event like a trade show or a holiday that's relevant to your audience. The news doesn't have to be strictly related to your business, but it should be something that your audience cares about. It should be related enough to your business that there is no disconnect. For example, let's say you have a plumbing service. You might write about the rising temperatures expected for the coming summer and what it means for homeowners. This shows that you're an expert in your field as well as a provider of the service, and you can help them. Let's say that you are an online marketing firm writing about a recent change to Facebook, the algorithm thing, and what it means for the business owner. Or perhaps you can let them know about a new platform businesses can use to advertise. Think about your audience's interests and needs. Consider your expertise and topics you know a great deal about. Keep your eye on the industry news and developments to find engaging stories you can share for publicity. Can't even talk today. The key is that the article ends with an introduction to you and your offers. So the next steps for this section are these. Make a list of events or time-sensitive occasions you can use for publicity. Find some industry news websites or services you can follow to get ideas for stories. Create an ideas list and keep adding to it when you get new ideas. So this brings us to item number 4. Get interviewed on radio and podcasts. Think beyond text-based publications and take advantage of other forms of media. A great way to do this is to get interviewed on a podcast or an online radio show. These types of content are extremely popular and offer a great way for you to get more widely known. It's the same basic idea as print publicity. Choose podcasts and shows that are in your niche and relevant to your market, and that have their own large, engaged audience. Choose a topic or some news to discuss. People will check out the show to hear the information you're sharing, and then, through this content, they'll find out who you are and look for more information. Create a list of podcasts or internet news shows in your industry. Choose ones that have a large listener base. Take some time to get to know the podcasters and their shows. Subscribe and listen so you can see if it's the right topic and format for you. You can also go through past episodes to see what topics is covered so you can choose a new topic or to enhance one that they've already done. A good long-term strategy is to become an active listener. Interact with the podcast on social media and elsewhere so you can put yourself in the host's radar. Leave insightful or helpful comments so they can start to see you as another expert in the industry. This will make it so much more natural when you pitch your interview episode to them. Become an active listener to podcasts and internet radio. So the next steps for this are 2 simple ones. Identify podcasts and internet radio shows that have large followings and are relevant to your audience. Research the shows on your list and note ideas for topics that you can propose to them. Contact at least one with your proposal and start following and interacting with them to build a relationship. This brings us to item number 5. You're going to need a kit. You're going to need a media kit. Creating a media kit makes doing your own publicity so much easier. This is a package, a publicity package, if you will, that you can publish online for anyone to see, but also send out to journalists and influencers when you contact them. It's a ready-made tool for communicating who you are and what you do. Your absolute essentials will include a concise explanation of the unique benefits of your offer, the hook we talked about earlier, contact information including links to your website and all of your social media profiles, a bio of you and any important people in your organization, a headshot, I think that goes without saying, branded visuals such as your logo. Your media kit should show everything you want people to know at a glance about you and your company. The essentials should go on the first page, but you might also have additional pages, and these would include things like images of your facilities or products, the latest news about your business, or press clippings that can help explain who you are. By the way, you might need a tool to help you with that, or you might know of Canva and not thought about using it to create a media kit. But it is an easy-to-use design program that you can use to make your media kit look really good all by yourself. It's simple, with a wide range of functionality and a whole lot of tools that you can use. Whether or not you use the free or paid or Canva Pro, the paid version, you will still have so many resources at your fingertips if you use it. This is not a plug for Canva. I'm just saying many people are aware of it, but do know that you can use it to make your media kit. The next steps then for this is to create your media kit. Plan and create your media kit and make a folder on your computer for everything to do with it so that everything is in one place. Decide where to post your media kit online and print copies to give out when you meet people offline. Whew, how are you doing? Okay, this brings us to the conclusion. It's time to get ready to get your publicity on. What we covered today, we talked about a few things, but here are the 5 main topics for you to remember. If you have a pen handy, you might want to make a note of the main headings. We talked about clarifying what makes you special and answering the question, why should people write about you? We talked about building a list of journalists and influencers to contact for press coverage. We talked about finding newsworthy events to publicize. Remember, we're looking for events that are of interest to the journalist audience. We talked about getting interviewed on podcasts and radio, which is a great way to get more widely known. And we talked about preparing your media kit, including the essentials using tools that you can already handle. So, we're just about at the end of our masterclass today. And as usual, I like to close with a quote. And this one is from Richard Branson, and it says, "Free publicity and word of mouth is probably the best and cheapest form of advertisement." Oh, can't even talk. Learn to use it to your advantage. So what's next? Join us for our next 30-minute masterclass that comes up in about 2 weeks. I really enjoy bringing them to you, and I promise you that within 30 minutes, you'll find something that you can use, and you'll be glad that you spent the time. So, until next time, I'd like to thank you and say that I'm so glad that you joined us today. I am your host, Barbara Jemmett of Y.E.S, Your Entrepreneurial Spirit. You can find me on email at info@yourentrepreneur.spirit.com. And you can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And our brand new podcast. You can find references to it on the website. Thank you and have a great rest of the day. Bye now.